Web3 with Whitney. This is day 10 and I am cutting it close because it is almost 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. Generally, I've been going live in the early to late afternoon, and today I actually ran into major tech issues with my podcast and learned a lot about what could possibly have been causing some of the tech issues I've been having here. At first, I thought that, or really just for the past week and a half, I thought that my tech issues were limited to live streaming. But once they started happening with my podcast too, I realized there might be an issue with my mic. So I tried a little bit of a different setup with my mic tonight. Fingers crossed that it works. And the troubleshooting was so exhausting and draining with my podcast. I ended up just stepping away from my computer for a while and just came and sat down. Little behind the scenes, I am a night owl, and generally I work until somewhere between 1 to 2 a.m. And then I get up around 10 a.m., sometimes a little earlier or later, and get into my day. And this morning, I actually woke up at 8 a.m. for, something that I needed to take care of errand wise. And gosh, I would just love to go to bed right now. But I have some things to do, and I really wanted to make sure that I stayed consistent with this show. I've realized how much I've started to look forward to it, how much I appreciate people that are interested in this, how I see that this is really just the beginning of not only my Web3 journey, but I think I want to do this series indefinitely just so I can watch my progress and continue to talk to people about it and just see where it goes. So I wanted to share actually some shifts that I made. One major one with the Web3 website. So if you go to whitneylauritsen.com/Web3, there is the website that has links to everything. And I added in, I think, one major thing today, which is a little section where you can submit questions and topic requests. So if you haven't joined live, if you haven't commented, if that's not really your thing, if I see actually the majority of people are listening to the audio only version right now, which is really cool. But you can go to whitneylauritsen.com/Web3 and type in any question, and you don't even have to share your name or your email address. So I'm trusting that people will be kind and serious with it, but who knows? Maybe they won't be. And then a reminder that all the videos are here in the playlist and the audio recordings are here. I have to upload yesterday's. I'm usually a day behind because of the current process of creating the videos. That may change and I might be able to do it each day. I still have not put my focus into the Discord yet. And actually, I've been kind of second guessing whether or not to do the Discord because I think it was yesterday, January 26th, Discord went down and it seems like it created like so much panic. And there was at least one tweet that I saw of someone saying like, this is the reason why we have to be mindful about where we what like platforms we're putting our time and energy into basically. And for so many years that I've been creating content online, there's been this big idea around not placing your whole community, your audience, your content all in one basket because it could change at any point. And in the past, people used to refer to MySpace as a great example of it. I was never really on MySpace. I think I created a MySpace account years after it became popular, just kind of out of curiosity, but I was not like deeply in that world as many people were. I got more into Facebook, and there was another platform, Friendster, I think maybe. I kind of dabbled in that, but I didn't feel like Friendster really took off. But Facebook, I got really involved with. And I remember over the years, people would say like one day Facebook is going to be like MySpace. Now that remains to be seen, especially given that Facebook is really focused on Web3 with the name change to Meta. Um, and we've seen a lot of shifts over time. Like Twitter has made a resurgence, as I've talked about. It's really heavily connected to the Web3 community. I'm always following what Instagram is doing and the shifts there. I'm very into TikTok. Usually I broadcast live to TikTok, but I just didn't have the energy tonight, and it didn't seem like there were a lot of people on there. So I just thought I would go forward with Facebook, YouTube, and I think I'm broadcasting to Twitch and Twitter too. Um, now that I think I've narrowed down my tech issues to my mic, I was like placing all the blame on LinkedIn, but now I don't think that LinkedIn has been the issue all along. Anyways, I digress. My point is that I wonder with platforms like Discord where their tech challenges are really out of my hands and other people's hands. And I think there was a lot of panic happening yesterday because so many people place like a huge percentage of their Web3 infrastructure and community building on Discord. And yesterday may have been a wake up call. Like, what happens if a platform like that goes down? Or I should say, when a platform like that goes down, even temporarily, if you're dependent on that to communicate with people, if you're dependent on that to do your business, to learn all of that. It's truly one of those all your eggs in one basket examples. And I think that can cause a lot of chaos and stress. So it's giving me pause. I still want to create my Discord, the Web3 with Whitney Discord, which has actually already been created. It's just not been like made public yet. I'm slowly planning on releasing it. There is a link to it right now, but I actually have been having trouble connecting it to my Rally account. And so right now I want to make it exclusive for Rallycoin holders. If you haven't listened or watched the past episodes where I talked about Rally, I encourage you to do that just to have some more context. I think it's episode 2 where I dove into a little bit deeper, talked about what a creator coin is. And one of the big concepts with Rally is to offer exclusive perks to people that are in that economy that you're creating. And Discord is one of the common perks that people offer. So I want to test it out. I want to see if there's value there. I know it's going to take a lot of work. So we'll see what happens. But since I imagine though anyone who's listening to this is probably very invested and curious about Web3, I feel like you might be a good fit for Discord. So stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. I also had mentioned, I think yesterday for the first time, that I wanted to give away some free Rallycoin. So if you are either hesitant to spend money, if you're hesitant to try out Rally, if you already have Rally and want some more, stay tuned because I'll be giving out what they call airdrops. And that's a way for me to pass on Rally during my live streams. And I've done that a few times now. Not in one of these live streams in this series yet, but on other live streams, and it's worked out really well. So I think it's really cool just to be able to distribute freebies to people and reward them for participating. Another thing that I tried out today, which I'm actually very excited about in kind of a nerdy way, and I'm sharing my screen for those that are watching the video recording. If you're just listening to the audio and you want more of the visuals, I would go over to the YouTube recordings in the playlist. I started to try out Brave tonight, and this tied into my tech challenges that I had. I felt like I was kind of forced into it in oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I not maybe forced is not quite the right word, but I've been wanting to try out this Brave browser, which is an alternative to Chrome, which I've been using for a long time, and Safari on the Mac, Internet Edge, what's it called? Microsoft Edge now, which I don't know if I've ever used. But I've heard a lot of positive things about Brave, I think mainly from a privacy standpoint, and it seems to have some integrations with Web3, which I wanted to show you. Anyways, it's been like on my to-do list, but a low priority. And today, when I was having the tech issues with my podcast, one of the questions I had in my head was, are these stemming from Chrome? Uh, so I was like trying everything I possibly could. And that led me to finally downloading Brave. And one thing I thought was cool, and this is a good thing to know if you're currently using Chrome and you're curious about Brave, it was so easy to transfer over all my data from Chrome to Brave. I was shocked. Like it literally was like a click of a button and all of it was imported in. That was my big hesitation. Even the extensions from Chrome came over, which was my biggest hesitation. I was like, ugh, I don't want to lose all those cool tools that I've been using, but it looks like most, if not all of them, are compatible in Brave. And I'm just like a huge extension user. So examples of that, like I have some that check my grammar and my spelling. I have some for privacy, ad blocking. I have, I have actually one through the platform Lolly, which is a way that you can earn Bitcoin through your purchases. So I have that set up just to check whenever I'm buying something and see if there's a Bitcoin reward available. So, anyways, it looks like all that will work in Brave too, which is really exciting. So, on my screen, I want to share just some of the Web3 things here and kind of take you along. I haven't done any of this yet because I thought it'd be fun to save for the video. So it says, welcome to the new Brave wallet. You can hold crypto assets in your custody, track portfolio performance, and interact with Web3 dApps. I don't know what that is. DApps. Trade, invest, borrow, and lend with DeFi. All right from the Brave privacy browser. No extension, no download required. So you click get started and it leads you to a password that you can set up. I guess I can do this in real time, but obviously I'm not going to share my password here. I don't really know what I'm signing up for. A Brave wallet? Maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I should read more. Actually, you know what? On second thought, don't just sign up for something crypto without researching it more. I have just heard so many positive things about Brave, which led me to not hesitate. But let me see what comes up when I search for Brave wallet. Here we go. Let's learn together here. Gosh, I feel so tired. I'm going to have to keep this video short. I feel like I'm like like low battery, I could crawl up and go to bed. But I'm committed. So there's a few things I want to get through today before I wrap up this up. So the Brave wallet is a secure crypto wallet, no extension required. Um, it's the first secure crypto wallet built directly into the browser, no extensions or extra steps. This means less vulnerability to faked version of an app, phishing, and theft. That's cool. Superior performance because it's not an extension. And this is one of the big reasons that I was wondering if I was having issues with Chrome was like the processing speed to run all of those extensions and the memory it was taking up. I already feel like Brave is much faster than Chrome, but I haven't like fully customized it yet. So you can import other wallets, including Metamask. And Metamask is something that I've been wanting to check out. I know the name. I hear people talking about it all the time, but I haven't set it up for myself yet. It is a crypto wallet and a gateway to blockchain apps. And it seems to be like one of the big standards. In an episode in the past in this series, when I was talking about crypto, I shared, there's Coinbase. People had talked about Robinhood, which I hadn't really got checked out yet because all of the negativity around that. There's crypto.com. You can, I don't know if cash.com counts. Like you can buy uh, at least Bitcoin in there. Like so many platforms, even PayPal now you can buy, but those are marketplaces versus a wallet. And I guess like it's a matter of like where you're buying versus storing. So in MetaMask, it is a browser extension and a mobile app that equips you with a key vault, secure login, token wallet, and token exchange so you can manage your digital assets. And this, like I said, is like one of the major things, like when you're signing up or sharing information, like it seems like a lot of people are talking about it, especially on platforms like OpenSea if you're buying NFTs. So I've been meaning to set this up just so I can kind of better understand MetaMask, but it hasn't felt like a big priority yet. But it looks like the Brave wallet is compatible with it. So you can import that in. Ooh, and this is interesting. You can import hardware wallets. Huh. That's fascinating. I've been also meaning to look into these. I've done a bit of research on Ledger, and I almost bought a Ledger hardware wallet, which for those that aren't familiar with that yet, let me pull this up. Um, this to me seems Ledger, and the other one that was over on the Brave site is the Trezor. Trezor, is that how you pronounce it? Trezor. Um, so they are both hardware wallets that allow you to securely store your crypto assets. And I just have heard enough about Ledger. I feel like they're kind of like a name brand, but I haven't really looked into. I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. Trezor. I guess that's right. This is what happens at night when like your brain starts to shift and you can't even say words properly. But look at this. This is really neat. Um, okay. Well, I'm putting that on my list to do, but I just feel like Ledger seems really cool, a little bit up my alley. But this is interesting. I heard on I was like watching a random TikTok about a month or so ago, like right before I was going to buy a Ledger wallet on Amazon. And some people were saying that actually it's better to buy directly from Ledger because some of the other like third party places, you kind of run the risk of somebody kind of corrupting your hardware wallet, I guess, and putting something on it so that they could hack it, I suppose. I don't know how accurate that is or if it's just kind of like a fear that people have, but it definitely gave me pause and made me think like, you know what, I'll buy directly from their website. And there's a number of ledgers that you can buy that if you go to their product section, I think the Nano X is the one that I was looking at. And it just feels like kind of like the beginner. I think this is the less expensive one. And it looks a lot like a USB dongle. Um, but you're storing your crypto on there. I don't know if you can store NFTs on there. It says assets. So I don't know if that just means crypto. But yeah, it says with the Ledger Nano X, you can secure and manage over. Ooh, I love this. Is actually one of my favorite numbers. 55 is one of my power numbers, and it says you can store, secure, and manage over 5,500 coins and tokens, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and more. Um, and oh, here we go. A little ledger device. Oh, okay. Maybe it wasn't the X. I think I was looking at the S because it's quite the price difference. The Ledger Nano S is only $59 and the Nano X is $149. But the benefit of the Nano X is that it's got a Bluetooth connection versus the Nano S is USB. So you actually have to plug it in, I suppose, versus you could wirelessly do the Nano X, which might be more convenient, but I don't know if it's worth an extra $100 for me. So I will be doing more research on this to determine that. And I'm also going to look into the Trezor, if I'm saying that right. Um, I like the look of this. It almost looks um like a key to a car. Let's see how much these are. Does it say? Easily sweet shop. Okay. By the way, I really like the Brave browser. I feel like it's so smooth. I'm really enjoying this. Okay, so they have one, maybe their cheapest one is $63 right now. But they look like they have a lot. Maybe these are just accessories. But I couldn't tell you anything about this. Like, I feel like I've vaguely heard people talk about this, but not as familiar as I seems like the ledger is a little bit more commonplace that I've come across. So that's going into my homework. If you're listening to the audio only version, I will put links to all of this if you want to check it out too. So I'm going to research the Brave wallet. I'll get back to you on all of that, the hardware and all of that. I'll keep you posted once I check out MetaMask and better understand that. I really like the design of MetaMask, just like the Fox logo makes me want to sign up. I don't know why, but there's a few things that I wanted to talk about today. One is that I've been hearing a lot about something called gas fees recently, and it's, as I've said before, especially when I was talking about lingo, I hear it so much that I have a very vague understanding of it, but I thought that I would address it more here in case you're very confused about what that means. It comes up a lot when people are talking about like crypto and NFTs specifically. So, one definition, a really good explanation of it, is on the Ethereum website, and it just breaks it down in a very easy to understand way. So, gas is essential to the Ethereum network. It's the fuel that allows it to operate in the same way that a car needs gasoline to run. So, I imagine that's where the name came from. But I just feel like the word gas fee just completely throws me off. It feels so foreign to me thus far. So, what is gas? It refers to the unit that measures the amount of computational effort required to execute specific operations on the Ethereum network. So, this is the other thing: is gas specific to Ethereum? Huh. I want to look this up. Let's see. Oops. Gas fees, Bitcoin. Let's see if you have to pay them or if it's. Oh, you don't have to pay gas fees on every cryptocurrency transaction. With Bitcoin, for example, a transaction fee needs to be paid for miners to maintain the blockchain. Okay. Huh. All right. So there's transaction fees with Bitcoin, but Ethereum is the gas fees. So I wonder if that terminology is specific to Ethereum. See, this is like all part of the understanding that I'm trying to just grasp of all these nuances. Okay. So, since the Ethereum transaction requires computational resources to execute, each transaction requires a fee, and gas refers to the fee required to conduct a transaction on Ethereum successfully. And the reason I thought that this was worth bringing up today is because I kept hearing like how high gas fees were this week. And what I still don't understand is what controls the like price of gas fees. So let me see here. Like I guess gas fees Ethereum. Ooh, there's even like a calculator. So yeah, I mean this is what I'm trying to understand in real time. That's still super confusing to me. I hear this terminology, and this is why I want to be so transparent about what I know and what I don't know, because I feel like people often say these phrases and I'll just sit there thinking like I wish somebody would explain this to me. you know. And I still, let's see, Ethereum gas fees, Ethereum price. Or maybe there's a chart. I saw something earlier where it's not even that easy to find so far. So in real time, I don't think I'm going to be able to fully grasp this. So that I'll put that on the back burner for later. Okay, I'll follow up with you. But I did find there's this website howtogeek.com, and it also breaks down what Ethereum gas fees are. And so it starts off by saying if you've been looking into Ethereum or Ethereum related things such as NFTs, which for those of you who had not caught my episode on NFTs, that's a few episodes back, or smart contracts, which is something I have not gotten into yet. You've probably heard of the Ethereum gas fees required. These fees must be paid to make Ethereum work, and here's why. So, as I mentioned, it is all about transactions. And so people are buying and selling things with Ethereum. They're running complex code like the NFTs and the smart contracts. And all of that needs computer hardware to process, which costs money. And since there isn't a centralized bank, there's no data center full of computers dedicated to crunching the numbers. All of the processing power used to make and verify transactions using Ethereum is donated by miners. Oh, that's interesting. This is a really good article. So when you pay the gas fee on top of the transaction, that's the amount of currency with which the miner will be rewarded. So maybe that's why the rates went up. And maybe gas fees are higher, if I'm understanding this correctly, because Ethereum has been down this week. So maybe the gas fees go up when Ethereum's price goes down in order to compensate the miners. I could be wrong about that. Oh, here it is. Here's the section: gas fees fluctuate. Um, so computational power is a limited resource, meaning that the law of supply and demand affects how much gas you need to pay to complete a given transaction. When the network is busy with lots of requests for transactions, users are essentially competing with one another to get their transactions verified first. This, quote, bids up gas fees on the network, making the cost of doing business higher. Aha. So perhaps because Ethereum has been down in price, more people are buying Ethereum, and thus there's more transactions happening. That could be it. I don't know, but this helps. I will link to this How to Geek article for those of you that want to check this out too, and I'll link to the Ethereum website. Um, a few other things that I wanted to go over today before I wrap up and go to bed. One of them is a really great resource called the Tilt. And Tilt is actually part of the Rally network. Let's see on the website here if there's a quick link. If you go over to rally.com or rally.io, sorry, it's not .com, .io, and you go to Discover Coins and type in Tilt, you can find the Tilt coin. And this is one of my favorite coins, so I'm not giving financial advice, but when I first joined Rally, I was trying to figure out like what coins to buy on here beyond my own, the Well coin. And Tilt was one that I think it was one of the first that I got because it just felt so in alignment with me and my interests. And I mean, it's doing so well. It's $23 a coin, over 23. And you can go over to activity and see like just how well it's done over time. It's really impressive. Let's see. I probably got it in August 2021. Oh, it's gone through ups and downs. But anyways, so the Tilt coin appealed to me because it's all about the creator economy, which I've been involved with for a long time. And there's so many perks in here. The guy Joe who's behind it is just like really knowledgeable. So if you go to the tilt.com, there's an article on here about how the Web3 evolution can help creators today. And I think this is really interesting, not just for creators like myself or perhaps you, but those of us who support creators, which is myself included. And this graphic about Web3, I also think is really neat. This is the first time I've seen this. So it shows Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. Web 1 is represented by a one-dimensional triangle. Web 2, I guess, is that two-dimensional? And then Web 3 is like, what do you even call this? A bunch of triangles together in a globe. Maybe there's another term for what that is called, but that's the visual. And this article gets into Web3 and how the internet's being rebuilt on the foundation of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And the result is a slow motion overthrow of entrenched financial interests, as I've talked about a lot. There's a little overview about Web 1 versus Web 2 and then Web 3, and how cryptography, as it's saying here, transfers control and decision making from a centralized organization into a distributed network. It also allows the loosening of the stranglehold that companies and governments have over everything from information and intellectual property to the creation of money, which is something that I've shared in a bunch of these videos because it just comes down to the benefits and the definition of Web3. Token. So blockchain-based smart contracts, there's that term again, have created new currencies, new asset classes, and new forms of property. And these are secured by math rather than law. Ooh, that's an interesting way to phrase it. Content creators can now be empowered by a type of cryptocurrency called social tokens that are really nothing more than a computer code shared among users. In this manner, creator folks can essentially issue a currency tied to their community. So that's exactly what Rally is. as I showed, and one of the main reasons that I've joined it. Social tokens or coins enable creators to build and reward their community and compensate themselves. Such coins can also be used to tip creators for their content, which is precisely what Twitter is rolling out. Oh, that's right. The option creates something far better than likes, actual money. Now, creators don't have to rely on ads to monetize their content. They can monetize directly from creator coins and indirectly from their audience donating coins to them. Imagine a creator at the center of a microeconomy that they own and control with no intermediary in the transaction process. So this article goes on and on about banking and all sorts of details. I haven't fully read this yet, but let's see. It basically wraps up and says the creators are beginning to build mini economies with their fans through social tokens, yet governments will try to regulate it because of the limit it places on their sovereignty. Big tech will try to co opt it to maintain their competitive advantage, and dishonest hustlers will leverage this for new versions of fraud, which is essentially things that I've been saying across these videos. I absolutely agree. Regardless of how things develop, Web3 is the future, and also what I've been sharing. So I like this. This is a nice little summary on the tilt.com and just some insights. There's links to um, other resources here so that you can follow along. And I think it's just an important thing to pay attention to because so much of our entertainment is wrapped up in the creator world right now. I mean, if you're like me and you're watching me right now, I'm creating content in this moment. So you're involved. You're either learning or you're curious or you're voyeuristic or entertained or whatever reason inspires you to tune in to YouTube or Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. And personally spend my most time on TikTok. And I could almost guarantee you that this sort of Web3 impact is going to change the way that we watch these things. And already on platforms like TikTok and YouTube and Twitch, you see these opportunities to like send people. And I just realized I've had something on my screen this whole time. Sorry about that. I've had the text blocking all my screen shares. Anyways, so on a lot of those platforms you have the ability to tip, like as this article mentioned, Twitter has tipping and YouTube has had tipping, and we've had platforms like Patreon and a lot of these platforms like Twitch and TikTok. You can send like gifts, and actually someone did that on my live the other day on TikTok, which was cool. They sent me like 25 cents, and it's like not a lot of money, so I'm not banking on it. It's not like uh, really causing that much of a impact on my finances, but it still feels really good. It feels like a really cool way for someone to participate, to say thank you, to tip you just like you would tip someone if you're walking by them and they're playing music and you like their music. And I think that we've been in that world and that mindset, and we're going to continue to see it. But the opportunity with Web3 is even cooler because thanks to platforms like Rally, you can actually benefit from it too. In fact, I've mentioned the NFT 365 podcast by my friend Brian Fanzo. I was listening to it today, and the episode was all about this exact point about how there's such huge benefit to people buying into something that gives them value beyond just the good feeling that you get from supporting someone. The term Patreon comes from being a patron, and you can think of patron of the arts or someone that you believe in so much that you want to support. That's well and good, but a lot of times, like I said, you're just getting satisfaction from it, and that might be all you want. On platforms like Patreon, you can offer extra perks, just like I was talking about Rally. But I think what Rally and some other platforms that are doing this, it's really cool, is that they're giving you an additional opportunity of actually growing your contribution. So let's say you put in $1, it could grow to $1.50 next week, right? On Rally, what I love about them is every week, you have the opportunity to actually earn rewards just for holding your coins. Uh, and I've earned a lot of money on Rally just simply by supporting other creators. So my strategy on there is every day right now I go into Rally and I look at how much I've accumulated in the Rally tokens. If this sounds like gibberish, once you sign up for Rally, if you are interested, it'll make more sense. And I just bought a bunch of coins that I thought were interesting and people that I wanted to support, like the Tilt. And then because they've been successful, I've earned rewards because the community is like collectively growing and we're being rewarded through it because that's the way that Rally is specifically set up. It kind of reminds me of like my high yield savings account. Like I keep money in my savings account and I get percentage of it every single month, but it's a little different in the way that it works where on Rally it's shifting every week and it's all dependent on the contribution of other people. So it all ties into the strength of the community, and I think we're going to see just more and more of that, and it actually makes so much more sense. Maybe the reason people have been hesitant to contribute money on Patreon or donate to people is like they wonder, well, what more do I get out of it beyond feeling good or maybe getting a tax write off? And notice also, like, a lot of people are motivated to donate money because of the tax write off. So they're getting a financial benefit from it. So I guess we're going to see a lot of this shifting in Web3 where people are actually like buying into economies and benefiting from it financially in really unique ways. And I think that's really cool. I'm all about everybody benefiting. One other thing that I want to touch upon, which actually ties into that, is community. And this is a word that I keep coming back to in most, if not all, of these videos in this series thus far. And really, to me, at the core of what makes me excited about the shifts that we're seeing with Web3 is the magic of turning an audience into a community. Now, this specific article, which is on the Rally website, by the way, and it's written by Mark, who has the Rise coin. Uh, this article I was intrigued by because I wanted to see Mark's perspective on what community actually means. And I love this idea of it being a magical experience. So for you, if you're not a content creator, maybe just thinking about like, what does community mean to you? Mark starts off by saying creator community, in quotes, is one of the most misunderstood phrases in business. On one hand, community represents the most powerful source of customer loyalty imaginable, the feeling of real belonging and having found your tribe. On the other hand, when most people use the term, it can mean anything from a loose list of anonymous patrons to a Twitter chat with fans. It's probably not a creator community at all. It's an audience. And I love this first paragraph. I think this is crucial. I think this is a major issue that we've had in the current state of things with creators in Web3 is uh, because that term community is misused. I think people have become very confused. And I see community, and I'm guessing Mark is going to get at this too, is very different from an audience because it's everybody contributing collectively versus one person sharing things to a whole group of people and benefiting from them as a result. So back over to Mark's article, which I'll link to if you want to read it yourself. The idea of a true customer community remains the essential concept as we consider the future of Web3. So he starts off with something called the belonging crisis. There is an overwhelming need for community in our world. Unfortunately, a mountain of evidence suggests that. He shares a bunch of statistics about how lonely people are, how they're experiencing depression, and the loneliness in the workplace is leading to lower job performance and less workplace commitment. I think a lot of us are hearing about this. It's also interesting because he's referencing a study from 4 years ago, and I think this is only increasing it, right? So this loneliness idea is something that really hangs on my heart a lot, and I'm constantly thinking about how can I feel more connected to other people and help other people feel connected to one another. And this is why community really excites me. We want to belong. I think this is an interesting statistic here that 50% of heavy social media users thought it was important to receive recognition from friends online. And this is one of the big reasons I do live videos. Is like, I want to recognize you, the viewer, right now in real time when you're watching live. If you're watching the recording, I also want to recognize you. But there's a unique opportunity when somebody's watching you live to say hello to them. One thing I don't love is like right now, I can see that people are watching live, but I don't know who they are because they haven't commented. And I think that there's a pattern of people being more like voyeurs and they're just kind of like watching but not participating. And that's fine. But in my ideal world, I would love for it to be more participatory, because I want to acknowledge people. And, and I feel like if we were all in a room together, it'd be completely different because we'd be seeing each other eye to eye versus uh, that's really lacking with live. I think this is one of the reasons that Clubhouse has really thrived and Twitter Spaces and other platforms where people could go into an audience but like actually raise their hand and come up on stage and like contribute to conversations. People I think were craving that, especially during the pandemic. And when you look at the statistics that are brought up in this article, seeing that that's been a really big issue for at least 4 years, it's like, all right, how can we recognize one another and connect with one another? How can we create more acceptance, and really dive into community? So the article then shares 3 obstacles to community in terms of content creators. Number 1 is communion. Do people know and support each other? Is your community bigger than just you? And it touches upon like when everything is centered on one individual, that's not a community, that's an audience. Are people in your quote tribe getting to know each other and collaborating? So this is actually